Out of my last 10 videos, one took off, a few did all right, and most of them barely moved. So in this video, I want to look at exactly what happened, what actually worked, and what does this mean if you're trying to build your YouTube channel and YouTube business. All right, so here we have pulled up my main channel's last 10 videos that I've posted. And here in the analytics, I just have it set up so you can see a few things. And we're just going to talk quickly through this. This is going to be a shorter video, but I wanted to share kind of the point that I made in a couple videos ago where you don't need every video to pop off, right? And you can't get focused on the one that is. So if we look at the videos that did really, really well, obviously the top one here is the best, right? So this had 27,000 views here, and this is probably 6 weeks old. This is an outlier for, you know, my channel. It's definitely not a normal setting, like a normal view count. Like if you can look at the other 10, like I'm actually under 1,000 for a lot of my videos. So this is a good representation of the entirety of my, channel catalog. Probably, I can't remember, I think around 60 some videos, 65 videos. This is a good estimate. It kind of fits that mold. I have had a few videos pop off and get over 20,000 views, some that are over 10,000, a handful, good amount that are at the, mid 1,000 to 5,000 range, and then a whole lot that are underneath it, right? So I wanted to show you this just so you can get the concept that I talked about earlier, where, you don't need every video to pop off to grow. There's still growth on my channel. What I want you to see though, is by being consistent and focusing on just my inputs of putting out good videos that, one, I want to make, but that also meet a need of the audience I'm trying to reach, and then also trying to improve. When you're doing all three of those things, you get videos that pop off like this. And the big thing that happened for me is 1,000 watch hours from this one video in 6 weeks. If you're trying to get monetized, keep pushing, keep putting out the videos and improving and making sure that you're answering questions for your audience and giving value to your audience, because this is how you're going to get monetized. This is where you're going to get the watch hours. You're not going to get watch hours from all these slow burning videos that don't do a whole lot. Like if you look at this video or this video or this video, these three videos all have over 2,000 views, which is great, but they're slow burners and they didn't like pop off like that, and they're not getting a whole lot of watch hours. Now, if you do a bunch of those videos, that over time they'll grow. But if you want to get monetized quickly, then you need to put out content that really speaks to people, like this video did. It was all about speed in the software and answered a specific problem people have with DaVinci Resolve, which is that the software can run slow on their computer. And so this answered that question. And so it really resonated with my audience and it took off. So you have to kind of find those and be mindful of what those are. But the thing that I want you to look out here and not be afraid of is all these videos right here. These videos under here are what you would look at and say underperforming, right? They're not the highest one is 416. They're not very exciting. And so you want to you want to keep looking at your inputs in general, not just these ones, because you're not going to produce this every single time. You're only going to produce that, once out of every 10 times, maybe, probably more likely a video like this, where it's a true outlier, probably once out of 20 videos or 30 videos. So don't get bogged down. Focus on that. There are a few videos that drive your channel. So if you've only gotten all these small, videos that don't go anywhere, keep working at it, but figure out how to make it better. And then also figure out how what you want to do on YouTube and what you want to do with your business overlaps with what your audience is wanting to see. Not just see, but like answering questions they have or helping them with things that they're struggling with. Figuring that overlap is really important. If you don't find that overlap, you're going to struggle to see videos pop off and become outliers. So you need to find that gap or that overlap, where what you're wanting to do and what you're wanting to teach, talk about, or whatever you're doing on your channel is overlapping with the audience's need, wants, or questions, right? So that's how you can improve that. So if you haven't seen any videos pop off, work on that. Work on matching your audience a little bit better and getting better with your videos. Some of you need to get better with your videos. You need to have better script writing. You need to do better research, thumbnails, titles. You need to do better. Some other of you are doing that really well, but you're not finding that overlap between what you're wanting to talk about and what an audience is actually there. And a lot of people, I got a comment recently, it was kind of questioning this idea of going after views, going after, what, like basically just what your audience wants to see. So again, I like to go through the comment section at the end of these videos, or not the end, but just in these videos. Okay, so here it is. I found it. It was on a reply to another reply of this video. So this is what I want to talk about. Emmy Doggy says, the problem for me is your second point in this video, the why you must keep posting even when no one's watching. And I said there's 3 things that help you grow on YouTube. One is consistency. So focusing on inputs and what you can do to be consistent over a year and longer. 2 is learning what your audience wants. And 3 is, getting better, right? So growing and improving and that kind of thing. So they're saying they have a problem with the second point, learning what your audience wants, how to find that balance of appeasing your audience while not absolutely catering to their wants, needs, expectations, and making yourself miserable in the process by trying to make everybody happy. This is a great question. I read through this already. This is a great comment because I do need to clarify that learning what your audience wants does have to be through the vision or the lens of what you're trying to do on YouTube. There's a reason you're making videos. There's a reason you're trying to build a business online. It's not just to appease whoever is out there. It's to do what you want to do, right? So some of us are a little bit more on the creative artistic side. They struggle with the idea of finding the audience and what they want. Like I struggle with that sometimes. Then the other side is like only thinking about what does the audience want and let me make what they want. You have to find a good mix in the middle. So that's why I talked about the overlap, because ultimately you want to create stuff that you want to create and you want to build a business you want to build. But if there's no audience that wants that, there's no point in doing it if you're trying to build a business, because you will not build a business that way. So I would push back on this a little bit and say, I fully understand we don't want to just make ourselves miserable doing what the audience wants, but to build a business, build income and earn money, you have to understand what the audience is. And they give the example of Van Gogh and Led Zeppelin. Okay. Van Gogh probably in his day was not as popular as he is now. A lot of people that die and produce art and do things that are really meaningful don't gain the fame and the people behind them and the money and income that could be made while they're alive. Okay. So, Van Gogh had that and he was an amazing painter. But at the same time, that was him creating something exceptional above and beyond, like in the 1%, right? Most of us are not going to be in the 1% or even the 0.1% of people on this planet. So that's hard to put yourself and say, as an artist, I want to be Van Gogh. I mean, you have a 0.1% chance of being Van Gogh. That's really hard. Same with Led Zeppelin, one of the most popular bands in the last, 50, 60, 70 years. So you're putting yourself in a really high tier there that, yes, if you are the 1% or even higher, there are going to be exceptions. You're going to blow up faster. You're going to be able to create stuff and the audience is going to love it because you did it. But again, when they first started, that audiences didn't love them, right? They had to do things and they probably had to make music that people liked before they could start making their own music. So there's an element of that. All right. So let's go and just look at the ones real fast that I haven't responded to. Now that we've talked about that, I said this video is going to be short and it's way longer than I thought. But anyway, well-made video and very encouraging. The phase that you're in, small channel. Thank you. You bet. Hopefully that was a helpful concept for you. Glad you're here. Started my channel in 2022. Did 12 videos, stopped, started back up last year, December, and I'm here for the long haul. Awesome. That's great, dude. Just keep going, man. I've done that. I did that with 2 channels where I stopped it multiple times and never saw growth until I became consistent and made things better and found, the place where the audience overlapped with what I wanted to do. So, all right. Thanks for the info. I have a YouTube channel, not this one, with a few videos. They're getting thousands of views. I'm not consistent, but I'm going to take your advice and be consistent. Yes, definitely. I mean, if you're already getting thousands of views and you're not consistent, that's great. So be consistent and watch how much more you'll get. Tens of thousands of views. YK Ball. I know Ball. Hey, I know that. I'm not Gen Z, but I know that phrase. Ball. I get it. Thanks. I appreciate that. I have been doing YouTube for over 2 years, only 2,500 subscribers. I'm starting to get worried about my potential, but I want to still keep trying. Yeah, keep going. Like I said, on my main channel, I started that probably 7-8 years ago and haven't been consistent at all. until a year and a half ago. And even then, still, like, I mean, in December, still didn't post anything in December and most of January. So I still struggle with that same problem. But looking at over the last year and a half of trying to be consistent, you have to focus on the inputs and get those things going and build off of that momentum. Otherwise you won't grow. So keep going at it. You have 2,500 subscribers. That's huge. That's a big deal. Don't look down on that. That's a big deal. Okay. So keep doing it. Keep going at it, and you'll definitely grow. All right, so hopefully something in there was helpful. Honestly, most of the videos that I do don't perform the way I want them to do, and so that's just you got to get used to not looking at those numbers and just looking at the overall and how the growth happens. If you want to understand a little bit better why you should keep posting even when no one's watching, then watch this video right here. It's a video that I did recently, and it has a lot of good points that will help you mentally understand why you should keep going in that. Anyway, if you have any comments about anything related to the behind the scenes of building a YouTube channel or creator business, drop them in the comment section below. They don't have to pertain to this video necessarily. I go through on each of my videos and just talk through the questions and give you answers that hopefully are a little bit better than me just, texting them down below. So again, watch this video here if you haven't seen it yet, and I'll check you in the next video.